Halo selamat pagi pemirsa, saya Chandra Dewi kembali hadir menjumpai Anda dalam Cerdas 5 Menit. Dan topik kita pagi ini yaitu mengenai perencanaan keuangan bagi generasi milenial, Financial Planning for the Millennials. Dan bersama saya di studio Metro Manulife, saya telah ditemani bersama Michael Haddard, General Manager Greater China Manulife Asia. Hello, good morning Michael.
Good morning, Andrew.
Okay, Michael, the recent survey conducted by Manulife showing that the majority of Asian millennials still prefer property and also cash as their investment vehicle. So it means it relatively the same as their parents. So how do you respond to this?
Owning property is the Indonesian dream, and 92% of respondents to the Manulife Investment Sentiment Index said that they aspire to own their own home. And in the assets, 43% were in their own property or another property.
So, but the property is not as liquid as the other investment, right?
Yes.
So we're talking about the asset liquidity like cash is still the king for Asian millennials. And as reported by the survey, 50% Asian millennials put their money into bank deposits, while it's about 20% for bank millennials deposits in the US and other OECD countries. But are they on track? How do you see this?
So I think everyone should hold some cash. You need cash in case you're out of work for a temporary period of time. And you need cash, but there might be an investment opportunity that comes along and you want some cash to put into the investment opportunity, but you shouldn't hoard cash. And on average, people in Indonesia have about 27% of their assets in cash, and I would call that hoarding cash, because cash cannot really beat the rate of inflation. And to beat the rate of inflation, you really need to be in growth assets. So you do need to start putting your assets into better investments.
Okay, so what will be the very first step for the millennials? We talk about the millennials, right? To break into the investment beyond property and cash.
Yeah, well, I wasn't a good saver when I was young. So the first step for me was to start putting aside money at the beginning of the month into investments. And you had to do it at the beginning of the month, but by the end of the month, you'd already spent the money. And you can start putting money into mutual funds or an investment-linked product or top up your pensions. There are a number of ways that you can invest that money. And you don't need to start big. Just put a bit aside each month. Because you're young, the money will grow rapidly and become a substantial amount of money quite quickly.
Okay, besides the investment, how about the insurance product? Do they need insurance?
Yeah, when I think about a financial plan, I think about the wealth accumulation, which we've been talking about, but I also think about the wealth protection. Wealth protection is to make sure you protect your family if something happens to you where you cannot work for different reasons, but also to protect yourself. Say you get a critical illness and you have a huge medical expenses associated with that. You might have to fit out your house with special gimmicks and things to help you get around the house. So I think insurance protection is key to a good financial plan.
Okay, what kind of insurance do the millennials should have for the first time?
So for me, I had term insurance first because term insurance being to protect my family if I died. I wanted to make sure if I died that there was going to be enough money that my wife and kids would be able to continue living comfortably. I also wanted to be the mortgage paid off. So I had a house, but I wanted to make sure there was no mortgage if something happened to me. Second probably is critical illness, to make sure that if you do get a critical illness that you can afford the expenses associated with it. And young people do get critical illnesses, it's not just for older people.
So Michael, last question. How Manulife will help Indonesian millennials to achieve their dreams and aspirations?
The millennials are a very important group. Our research shows that by 2020, we expect 35 million urban middle-class millennials. You know, firstly, through programs like this, we want to help and provide education to those so they can do a better job with their money. But secondly, we've done things like Create My Account. It's an application that gives them more control over their investment and protection needs. And we're going to continue to do more in the digital space. We really do want to help the millennials achieve their dreams and aspirations.
Okay, so that's what Manulife do.
That's what Manulife will do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael, for your coming.
Thank you.
Dan pemirsa, demikianlah Cerdas 5 Menit, Cerdas Finansial untuk episode kali ini. Saya Chandra Dewi, terima kasih dan sampai jumpa.
Dipersembahkan oleh